Hey, what's happening, Cheesecake Nation? It's your old pal, Supercharged Funk, and the Dave, lashing at you with another This Week in Wrestling.
Alright, so I think before we do anything else, all kidding aside, we gotta talk about the big news this week, the passing of Chyna. Do I think she'll go into the Hall of Fame? That's pretty much the big question. I think eventually. Who would put her in, though? That's kind of the question.
Yeah, that's an even bigger question.
Is it going to be some random member of DX? Is it going to be like X-Pac or Billy Gunn? It's like, oh, Road Dogg, come out here and say some nice things about Chyna. She was a nice lady.
It was a dynamite gal.
I know a lot of people, after what Mick Foley put out on Twitter, think Mick Foley's going to be the guy to do it.
Yeah.
They pull the trigger. I'm just going to say it's not going to be Triple H.
Yeah.
God forbid it's Stephanie. I could just imagine, like, the pure, unadulterated hate Steph would get.
Night. Cat.
Night.
Night. Oh, you're recording?
Yeah.
That's Oscar there. You guys could somehow hear it. I don't know if it'll carry over to the thing.
But, yeah, this is definitely, like you said, it's a matter of time, because Triple H has come out and said stuff, or someone under the name of Triple H.
Well, alright. He said in an interview that it's not on him, which is true. It's on Vince. But I think it's still going to be a minute.
Yeah, because I'm like, it took a while for Macho to get in.
Yeah, and we don't even know what really happened between them. So.
Yeah, so who knows? But it's an inevitability.
Yeah, I think eventually pretty much anybody you want is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I think.
Except for
Benoit. I wouldn't be surprised, 20 years, so.
Well, time will tell.
Public opinion sways on things. I mean, I've already seen people that are, saying he's a victim of his own, concussion syndrome and stuff.
Yeah.
And, he shouldn't be seen as this evil monster, but he is the victim, too.
Yeah.
Alright, so, enough on that sad note. One other piece of news. The Bellas are no longer going to be on Total Divas because they got their own show. Alright, so Total Divas will be picking up Maurice and Miz, Renee and Dean Ambrose, and Lana and my boy Rufus.
Oh, that's cool.
So we'll see what they want to do with them. And then Totally Bellas will be the Bellas spinoff that's just about them and the men in their life, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and Johnny Ace. Mr. Excitement. So yeah, what everybody's kind of interested to see. It could be good, I'll give it that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I
maybe
think it's gonna be total shit.
maybe we'll start reviewing that too.
Sure, you don't even watch the show. I don't have to.
Alright, so let's move right in. What do you want to do first? Lucha, NXT, or Raw?
Let's just we'll get Lucha out of the way first.
Alright, so very solid show. Kicked off with the promo, obviously setting up everything for this trios
Tag tournament.
Yeah, the tag tournament, which we find out later in the show is not for the number one contender spot, it's for the championships themselves. So right now we have the super duper team of Ray, Puma, and
Azteca.
Yeah, Dragon Azteca. We have Phoenix, the Darewolf, and Jack Evans. We have Joey Ryan and
the crew.
two members of the crew. And we have the Trios champions, and Helico, Evilise, and Son of Havoc. So, looking pretty good. I'm wondering how they're going to make, because I can't imagine they're going to put the Trios title on Ray, Puma, and Dragon Azteca. I feel like they have singles stuff they need to do with them. But like, how do you beat them?
Yeah.
Like, who takes the loss in that situation? I assume it's got to be Dragon Azteca, but at the same time, is he going to be a guy that just takes a lot of losses right off the bat?
Yeah. I can kind of see it that way. Speaking of singles competition, kind of a very interesting little development that happened within the storyline of the show. Because this is one, because as you probably have guessed by now, I am just getting into Lucha. I've only seen a couple months worth of shows, and I haven't really seen a lot of the crazy stuff that goes on like during like the for the storyline. Fucking what's his name?
Are you going over the first match?
No, the Katrina's guys.
Oh, yeah, they broke up the Disciples of Death.
Disciples of Death, thank you.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Alright, so we kick off with another battle for the medallion.
Oh, right.
Did you see that? Oh, you don't really know what that is about, right? Alright, so
I know of it.
everybody who enters or who wins is going to get a piece of the medallion. So you have all the pieces at the end. You put them all together. Like the Gift of the Gods title has the spots for all those medallions.
Oh, okay.
So at the end, you have a big, battle royale kind of thing where
That's
everybody
cool.
fights it out, and the winner gets the Gift of the Gods title, which is kind of a cool way to do it. It's like if you had Money in the Bank and when somebody cashes it, everybody fights for a spot to get into the next Money in the Bank.
That's pretty cool.
But there's always going to be a Money in the Bank winner kind of gimmick. It works really well. All right, so I think Teano is the only person with one right now. He beat Dago, whatever that guy's name is, from last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week we had Aerostar versus Drago. Very solid match. A lot of Brett's rope from Aerostar. One nasty looking botch.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like he fell right on the stairs. That couldn't have felt good. It looked like he fell ass first right on the stairs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully he's alright. He wrestled the rest of the match and looked pretty good. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about it. So, Teano, Aerostar, moving forward. Alright, we had the trios match we already kind of described it. You had the Disciples of Death, which I'm not big into right now. I mean, I love Katrina. I like No Muertes, but
Well, it doesn't matter anymore.
yeah, they're just kind of like the jobber unit.
Well, they were.
Yeah. But, alright, so they went against Phoenix, the Darewolf, PJ Black, and Jack Evans. And right off the bat, Jack Evans working one of my favorite heel gimmicks, the I'm Not Ready. Love it.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It's been a while since I've seen somebody do that.
Yeah, I love the no, you're doing so well, stay in there. Like, that was a really great moment. Not tagging in, or not accepting a tag from his partner.
And doing it, like, finally getting tagged in at the very end, only to get kicked like 3 guys at once.
Well, he tagged in earlier, remember? And then immediately got wishboned. Cup checked, if you will. Yeah, so not fun for him. Immediately had to tag out. So Jack Evans, I mean, he got his spots in the match where he shows, he's a top-level athlete.
Yeah.
I don't think his promo's quite there yet, but he's definitely coming together with some pieces. PJ Black, the former Justin Gabriel, looks amazing in Lucha.
Oh,
He's doing great.
He's doing really good.
I'm a little confused, though, in that I'm pretty sure he's a heel. I mean, he's aligned with Jack Evans, who's obviously a heel. But
Wasn't very heelish today.
yeah, he did a couple heelish things, but most part he was just a kind of douchey face. Like, he didn't do anything in the match I couldn't see John Cena doing. I'll put it that way. Well, other than, the good wrestling. So, alright, let's go to the main event. We had Mil Muertes versus Matanza with their valets on the outside. And their items, the rock and the key. Not the rock. A rock.
A stone, if you will.
And it wasn't cold. Alright, so you kind of get a little bit of big guy versus big guy, clotheslines,
I say names.
yeah, not a whole lot.
Chest pounding and grunting and
Yeah, nothing particularly amazing out of the match. Mil Muertes kind of looked a little like he didn't want to be there. Like he took a head bump and he's just like, like his head was like a good fist and a half away from the table.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh god, hide my head. And the finish of the match was kind of the non-finish. They both fell through the ceiling and disappeared. The Hogan versus Giant monster truck spot all over again. Like, oh, did they survive? Find out eventually. Who cares?
yeah.
Later. All in all, I'm generally not a big fan of like that kind of shit. I would rather have been in a backstage promo, or where they could have really made it like work.
Right.
Where you could have kind of teased their supernatural powers and such. Like in the match, it's just kind of a tease for something you weren't ready to do yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you'll probably see it right before Ultimate Lucha, and then whoever wins that, Dragon Azteca has got to be positioned to be fighting.
Right.
But then again, they might want to wait a season with Dragon Azteca. They might use this season to build them up.
Get his
Give them some nice slow booking. Maybe you even do something like number one contenders at Ultima Lucha, Puma and Mysterio, and you see, Dragon Azteca getting kind of jealous.
Yeah.
He stays a face, but he just kind of like he wants that spot.
He's getting frustrated that
and then you have him fight somebody else. So that's pretty much all there was this week in Lucha. I'm trying to think if they had teased anything for next week.
No, we just had that thing at the end in the police station.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if they said anything. I assume we're probably going to get more of the tag tournament. I would assume. I don't think they teased who though, because they had a promo with Angelico, Ivelisse, and Son of Havoc, but I don't think they said anything like, "Oh, next week you guys are going against such and such team."
Yeah.
Oh, Mundo and Cage in the cage match.
All right.
I think that's next week, so we'll see how that. I think that's the first cage match they've done, so I'm interested to see how they do it. Just because I doubt they could do a full drop down.
Right.
So maybe they go old school cage, like it's just big bars and has like the blue gaps, like the classic WWF cage.
That'd be pretty cool.
Which I'm a much bigger fan than the chain link one.
Yeah. What do you think, Sugar? I think Johnny Mundo is sexy as hell.
Alright, so what do you want to do? NXT or Raw, SmackDown?
I don't know.
I guess we'll do NXT just because
it's kind of quick.
Yeah, not a whole hell of a lot going on in NXT. They teased for next week. We're getting the Drifter versus Nakamura.
Okay. I was watching Nakamura beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, it's like, why don't you set up Nakamura to fight somebody that matters? Seems kind of weird. Like, Bobby Roode? I mean, not a whole lot to say this week. I mean,
Joe versus Apollo Crews in the main.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid match. I'm not sold on Apollo Crews yet.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people are putting him up really big, so maybe my expectations are too high. But I don't know. I'm just not sold on him yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been fighting a bunch of jobbers mostly.
Yeah, but I mean, even against Joe, Joe's a good worker.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's bad or anything, but I'm just not like.
Gotta see a little bit more of him.
I definitely think he has star written on him, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like they've made that perfectly clear.
I just hope they go about it in a little bit less Cena Reignsy way, where it's like, here's the star, here's the greatest goddamn thing ever. I let him have sex with everyone I know.
Oh, and we finally got No Way Jose, which I got. Dude wasn't even out for 5 minutes, and he's already over as fuck.
I gotta talk about this shit. It pissed me off. I rolled the sleeves to express my anger. Ah, goddamn Corey Graves. You can't call random jobber guy the Axeman when Curtis Axeman Axel is on the main roster. Yeah. You know, like, Jesus Christ. If you're like, look at that, it's the People's Champion. Who is The Rock? Like, there's certain things you just can't do. You can't have two guys in the same company with the same moniker. God damn it. Like, I shouldn't have to say this. This should be common sense. Look at that, it's Stone Cold William Regal. He's got that icy stare in his eyes. Come on, guys. Nia Jax versus not Ferrari. I don't know, it's kind of just a squash match.
Yeah.
Nothing particularly special about it. The tag match.
It was just to make the American Alphas look good.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a good luck, we're outie.
Yeah.
So, I'm alright with it. Definitely did it to make Cass look strong. Like, Enzo seems to be on the receiving end of a lot of shit, and then, you know, Cass doesn't really do a whole lot of selling, which is good. But it makes me wonder when they, somewhere down the road, do they split them and Cass gets the push and Enzo goes manager or something? Like, how far do they go as a tag team is pretty much what I'm wondering. Because I would love to see the rise of managers and valets and all kinds of... the gimmick speakers. I think that's a thing WWE really needs to put money into.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a lot of super athletes. Get some of these B-list actors doing off-Broadway and stuff. They don't need to be, like, super ripped and cut. If they can cut solid lines, you're going to write a script anyways. Have them and your writers work together and create fun characters for these actors to play. Yeah. And you teach them just how to do some basic bumps. That's all you need to do. You don't need to teach them how to wrestle. Just, hey, if you're on the ring apron and somebody pushes you, this is how you fall down and fall off the apron. You just sell like you're dead. I think that's a thing, WWE. Like, let's get some managers going. I mean, there's a lot of guys who I think could make it to the next step if they just had a mouthpiece for them.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of, you know, G-list actors off Broadway, you know, trying to make a name for themselves. And like, wait, you're always going to need wrestlers, but you know what? You always need somebody who can make stars. And that's a good talker. Like, Paul Heyman's never going to do a moonsault. But he definitely has a place in a wrestling company.
I'm just picturing that right now.
Yeah, it's like, I think that's what they need. They need the next crop of young managers, bring them in, and, you know, don't agree with Jim Cornette or whatever, but bring in these guys, your Mouth of the South, and Jim Cornette, and have them teach a class. Like, hey, this is how being a manager works. These are the kind of little things you need to know. You know, and just do it. Alright, so, other than that, I mean, NXT was pretty okay. Nothing, nothing groundbreaking and awesome. No Way Jose, I think he's got a few months with me.
Yeah.
I think if he can make it 3 months and people are still cheering and dancing, maybe he's got a future. I'm just worried that the gimmicks...
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. The gimmick is too much.
Yeah.
Like, he's dancing in the ring. And,
yeah. I think this was his first match just to kind of showcase him, but I think if they're going to put that much investment into the guy...
I just see shelf life. Like, when I see a gimmick like that, it's like, oh, how long is that going to last?
Yeah.
Like,
So, like you said...
he ends up the next Santino, or he ends up the next JTG. You know. If you can get the reference. Alright, so let's move on to Raw / SmackDown. And just kind of pick apart a couple things, including, I guess, for you viewers on Raw. Alright, so we got the Not Bullet Club. whatever WWE is going to decide to call them.
Oh, we forgot to talk about what happened at the house show for NXT.
Okay.
That's kind of
slight spoilers if you guys don't like any spoilers. I don't think they have any plans to show it, so it's either gonna be really weird and just show up. If you're an old school fan, you'll kind of remember these days and dread them.
yeah.
Okay, so spoiler. If you don't want any spoilers, skip 30 seconds into the video. It's not gonna be that long. Already been warned. Alright, so Samoa Joe beat Finn Balor at a house show in Lowell, Mass, and he's the champion now. And from what I understand, it was taped, but it's not taped for NXT kind of thing. Like, I think it was just like they have a camera set up just to record. But it wasn't like, you know.
Yeah, I bet you they'll probably show that match at this coming NXT, or they'll
I got a
show
feeling
part of it.
I got a feeling they're going to wait a minute.
Yeah?
I mean, Joe didn't come out with the title.
Well, I mean, that was taped before.
That's true.
Happened,
so, I don't know when their next set of tapings are. That's the only thing. So, it's going to be a minute.
Well, anyway, so, yeah.
Because, I mean, if they really wanted to, they could have put him in a backstage vignette with the title.
Right.
I mean, he wouldn't really look that different. Be like, hey, what are you wearing in this episode? Oh, here's the title. And give him some reason why he doesn't have it out there. Because, I mean, you can always change commentary and post or add stuff. So, yeah. Well, actually, I don't know when the house show was. I think it was actually Friday, so it would have been after this NXT anyway, so never mind. Yeah, alright, so going forward. Alright, Raw, SmackDown. Alright, so
Bullet Club.
the Not Bullet Club will be facing the Usos in a tag match on the Raw, the next one. Today / tomorrow for us, as we record. Should be cool. I'm a little worried that they're just kind of moving away from the Usos. And I don't think we really ever got the good Usos New Day feud.
No.
You know, I mean, they definitely feuded, but I don't think New Day was at the level they are.
No.
Granted, I don't know how the New Day or how the Usos would fare against the New Day. Like, Usos are almost in that John Cena pocket. Like, they're not hated, but at the same time, like, there's a section of the crowd that's very into them.
Yeah.
And there's a section of the crowd that just isn't. They're not vocal. They're not like, fuck you, Usos, fuck you. But, you know, I would just be worried that their fan base would be more into the New Day.
Yeah.
And by their fan base, I mean mostly it's your younger kids. I mean, there's older people that are super into the New Day. You know? But that's the super vocals. Like when the New Day come out and you hear that high-pitched scream, that's who it is.
Yeah.
It's not grown men.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd be kind of interested to see that feud.
Yeah.
But we have enough tag teams now. Still a little worried about the Vaudevillains. I really have a feeling that Cass and Enzo have to win.
Yeah.
But then, like, where do the Vaudevillains go? I just hope they don't become the new Ascension.
Yeah. That's my biggest fear.
Alright, so let's review last week's. We had, obviously, the setups for the tag team tournament. We had Usos with an injured shoulder versus the Vaudevillains. Vaudevillains win. A solid match, really, really good showing for the Vaudevillains.
Yeah.
Usos look strong in it. Yeah, nothing I can really complain about. I mean, both teams did their job really well. Dudley's versus Cass and Enzo was a little bit... I wasn't that into it. I mean, Enzo pretty much sold. Cass did work.
Yeah.
I gotta point out one thing I've got an issue with. Their finisher, the rocket launcher, I don't think Cass is actually touching him. Enzo.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that, and I was watching the match, and I was like, yeah, he ain't touching him.
He's just kind of like,
yeah.
So it's like, so he's just a splash. Like, I want them to do, like, the Big Show Mysterio spot of, like, put the hands up, have Enzo, walk up on the shoulders, and then you kind of splash him. Or, another really cool one is, get the knuckle lock over him, and then Enzo does a front flip senton, but it looks like he's slamming him down with extra force. It's a really cool move. Yeah, just a nice classic wrestling move. Nice tag team spot. As long as you don't go with the man on a mission finish. Do you remember that one?
Refresh my memory.
The one dude just kind of jumped onto Viscera's back.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just did a falling splash.
Yes, just did Viscera.
Just
Yeah.
King Mabel, sorry. Yeah, it was just like like an assisted fall. Just not a particularly pretty finish. So yeah, I mean, that's
the assisted whoopsie.
Whoopsie, you gotta fall on your ass. Like, and it has this multiple varieties. Don't get me started on the whoopsie. You got the running whoopsie from Earthquake. You got the flying whoopsie, aka the whoopee cushion, which was Doink's finish. There's some great whoopsies. Funly had a whoopsie. He had the little whoopsie. Alright, so
let's see.
Alright. We got two kind of things to talk about. Well, I guess three. Alright, well, when we get to SmackDown, we'll have another thing to talk about. I'm just trying to think, was there anything really with the IC belt? Like, Miz has it, but, like, they're not.
Yeah.
Not really, like, Cesaro's going against him, but there wasn't really a whole lot of, like...
Trying to think what else happened. Oh, there was...
freshness.
Yeah, I remember you got pissed because you were really looking forward to the Cesaro-Rusev match.
Oh, they pissed me off. They were like... Miz is like, you're going to have an opponent, Rusev. And I was like, oh, sweet. Cesaro versus Rusev. This should be an amazing match. Like, nope. They're like, 8-man, fuck you. I'm like, no. Which came first, that 8-man or the 8-woman? Because they were back-to-back.
I think the woman came first.
Yeah, I was just like, ugh. I guess everybody needs a payday. But it was just like, oh my god, I hate him. I hate him with a passion. I don't like 6-mans really. They can work, obviously Lucha makes it work with the trios thing, but they're very, like, everybody gets in really quickly in a Lucha. Like, in WWE, it's just like,
beat up the little guy for a little while. Have the big guy look like a big guy.
Yeah, it's like one team will have a weak link, like Xavier. Xavier will get his ass kicked. They'll get a tag into Kofi. Kofi will do his quick run. He'll kind of get stopped.
He'll do like most of the work.
Yeah, and then Big E will do his thing and win the match. And that's how like all their 6-mans work, or this 8-man. So I don't know. I wasn't super keen on it.
Yeah.
So, Miz and Cesaro should have a solid match. Cesaro is amazing. I think Miz is super underrated as an in-ring worker. I mean, yes, he screws up from time to time, but so does everybody. Yeah, it's like, you could literally pick anybody out.
Shameless.
Most people don't really say, like, oh, look at that fucking bastion of hard work and never botching Sheamus. But I mean, like, everybody botches. Bret Hart has botched moves, Anybody can do it. I was just watching WrestleMania 10. Owen had some screw-ups, Things that didn't quite work the way you'd want them to work. So, you just... I'll cut him some slack. I think Miz super underrated. He gets a lot of bad hate that he doesn't really deserve.
I totally agree.
So, we're to kind of go back and forth between Raw and SmackDown. So on SmackDown, they kind of built... Ryback beat Kalisto, setting up for another rematch. I think, unless they're going to break up the Lucha Dragons, put the belt on Ryback. Period. I don't think there's really anything else to say about that.
Yeah.
It's weird that they're giving one Lucha Dragon a push. I think they need to get the mask off Sin Cara, because I think Hunico is not a bad worker. I think it's the mask. In all honesty, what the fact the eyes are covered and stuff, because like he botches so much, and so did Mystico. But Mystico's like mask had, eye slots like every other luchador. With this mask, it's right across your eyes. I'm sure it's got to be bugging your eyes. You can't really see what you're doing, and you slip and fall. And
yeah, like have him
just cut the eye holes out of the damn mask.
like even if you just wanted to protect the character, just have him go somewhere, have him come back as a heel, and it's like, oh, who's this luchador? And it's like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, everybody knows it's Hunico. He's got the giant tattoo on his arm. Like, Mystico didn't have that at all. And he's also, like, 100 pounds. Well, I won't say 100. He's probably, 30 pounds lighter. Because Hunico is, pretty diesel dude. So, yeah, it's just, like, it's got to be the mask. I'm just going to blame it on it. I mean, maybe that's just me, defending people that don't deserve it. But, alright, speaking of shit. Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler.
technically didn't even happen.
Two-time champion Dolph Ziggler. They're just like, oh, why don't you just job to this big goofy fuck? Like, I don't know. I'm not into him. I'm not into the gimmick. He's the lone wolf. Okay. What's his character? Well, he's the lone wolf.
Douchebag.
Okay.
That's what he is.
He just wants to be alone. Why is he in the WWE? I don't. What's his gimmick? He's slowly turning into Bad News Brown, where he just doesn't want to wrestle matches, and he's like, "Oh, congrats! We get to waste 20 minutes on a pay-per-view for a match that's just going to be brawled to the back." Speaking of which, is it racist on my part,
Oh, jeez.
or Apollo Cruz's part that he uses the Ghetto Blaster? And I know that he uses the Ghetto Blaster, but nobody else refers to it as, like, he used a running enziguri to the back of the head while jumping. Like, it's the Ghetto Blaster. It was Bad News Brown's finish. But no one fucking acknowledges it. I'm just like
Is it racist?
Yeah, is it a racist thing? Like, you can't be like, oh, look at our Black Star. What's his fucking setup move, the Ghetto Blaster? Like, at least rename it something. Just don't be like, oh, it's a maneuver I've never seen before. Look at that interesting variation on the enziguri. Like, just rename it. I mean, people
The
do
Inner
it.
City Blaster.
Yeah, I mean, you got like the Scorpion Deathlock and the Sharpshooter. They're the same exact move, but they have different names. Just rename the Ghetto Blaster or whatever the hell he wants to call it. I don't care, but it's so weird that they're like, hey, that's a variant on the enziguri. Powerful strike to the back of the neck. Like, fuck you. It's the Ghetto Blaster. Like, that's what it is. Just say it. If somebody gets angry at you, be like, no, it's got a long history of wrestling. Fuck you. Alright, so what the hell's I talking about? Oh, how much I don't like Baron Corbin. Yeah, I don't get his gimmick. I don't think he's particularly scary. Like, he just looks like a tall, thin man.
Yeah.
He just looks like Jim from The Office, but tall.
Kind of looks like our friend Josh.
Yeah, like
Only was not.
Yeah, like when I see
Worse
Braun
hair.
Strowman, and he's all like that's a scary dude. He looks like he could physically like pop you. Like Baron Corbin comes out like all greasy and like thin and wiry, and it's like
You want to give him $5 to go get a sandwich?
I'm just like, come on, dude.
But yeah, not a whole lot on SmackDown. It's at least worth talking about.
I'm gonna go through each of the titles slowly. All right, so the Diva shit, or the women's wrestling stuff. Sorry, I was actually a fan. This is going to take a minute to drop the Divas thing. So, Charlotte with Rick versus Natty with not Jim, but Brett. Am I the only one who finds that weird? Like, I get that it's a marketing thing. You know, you're not going to see, like, in the middle of the match, a Brett versus Ric Flair in their prime match breakout. Just Brett's rope and eye pokes everywhere. You know, I'm not expecting anything. But it's weird. Like, her father's alive. I mean, he's doing okay. He could stand there and intimidate Ric Flair, at least. or hell, even like put him in a chair. He's on Total Divas, goddammit. It's not like he's like they're trying to hide him out from people. Like,
he's all Quasimodo'd up.
Really, yeah, it's just like it's like she's not the daughter of Bret Hart. It's not like Jim and fucking Bret had a kid. Their fucking bro love created a daughter. Like it's weird.
I think it's weird too. Yeah.
Like, put Jim out there.
I understand why they're doing it, but
you could easily have Jim Neidhart like walk around and chase Ric Flair.
Or shit, just have both of them.
Yeah, have him come out. You know.
It would have been cool if you had or just have like Jim come out and then kind of like in the middle of the match just have Brett come out and kind of like give fucking Rick the little like. It's like I know what you're
talking about. This thing like the Brett pose.
Yeah. And
just come at him. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, but I mean, like you could easily have Jim. Jim is much more intimidating than Brett.
Yeah, like you said, there's no reason why it shouldn't be Jim.
Yeah, it's just like, like if all you want is like their famous families. I don't know if you realize this. Her dad's not Brett. I know I keep saying this, but it's so weird. Like, yes, she's a Hart. Her mom, I believe, is a Hart. So it's like, well, okay. But it's like, why is it not Jim, the Anvil? Like, I get Brett is the bigger name. They're not going to argue on that point. If you wanted to argue, that's kind of a stupid thing. But it's like, it would be like, oh no, Roman's going to have Alpha in his corner because he's a slightly bigger name than Sika. It's like, yeah, but Chica's his father. Yeah, but Alpha, he was a manager after that, so, more people know Alpha than Sika. Yeah, but it's really weird to me. I mean, it'd be like one thing if Jim was just like off TV out just being crazy, like what the Warrior was doing before his return, or he was just like cussing out the gays and like smoking meth. Not the Warrior wasn't smoking meth, but he was cussing out the gays. Just want to put that in there. Sorry, I confused you. But yeah, like if he was just some embarrassment to the company or something, like yes, he's had some bad shit. He has some substance abuse problems. But I mean, it wasn't any like ridiculous level. Yeah. It's like embarrassing the company. Like you have Ric Flair out there, the guy who got JR fired. Like let's just keep that in mind. All right, so moving on. I think it'll be a good match. I've seen it now 5 times, so I'm not super.
Yeah, nothing to get too excited about, but.
So at the pay-per-view, we're looking at, from top to bottom, AJ and Roman. Pre-show, I'm guessing Ryback and Kalisto. Miz and Cesaro. Natty and Charlotte. Ziggs and Corbin.
And then Vaudeville.
So yeah, I think we gotta have one more match probably other than that. I'm just trying to think. Maybe Apollo Crews versus somebody.
Wait, what about did we say? Because we're getting
I said all the title matches plus Ziggler and Corbin.
What about isn't Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens?
Are they having a match here?
Yeah, Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
All right, so yeah, that'll fill up the show. Yeah, just random. It's on payback. Like, we don't really have a reason, but fuck it, fight. Are they number one contenders matches or
settling dispute matches? It's like, hey, you guys like to fight each other. Go fight in the pay-per-view and settle it so we can move on to another storyline kind of match.
Yeah, that's weird. Save it for something. What do you think the chances Balor shows up at Payback? Because that's the big rumor around why he dropped the title to Joe. They want to bump him to the main roster immediately, do the Balor Club.
Yeah.
and possibly turn on AJ. Do you think they go 4-man or 3-man? I think they go 3 just because that's what all their other teams are right now.
Yeah, I can't really see AJ turning heel now. At least not now.
Well, I mean, immediately before AJ went to WWE, he was beaten out of the Bullet Club. So, yeah, it was kind of weird. They're like, oh, it's his friend, but it's like they're trying to acknowledge stuff that happened in Japan, but like we're not going to acknowledge that. Like, it is a little weird, but yeah, I could see the Balor Club. I don't particularly like the idea of the Balor Club.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you make them sound far less important.
Right.
Like that Balor is the only star. You know, it was kind of like when they did Team Bella, but Alicia Fox is in it. Like, she's not a Bella. She's not Alicia Bella.
She's a Bella from another Mella.
Yeah. It's just kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, did they say when that Asuka Eva Marie match is supposed to be? Was that supposed to be on an NXT just random, or was that on the next? I can't imagine they're scheduling shit for the next page. Or
yeah, it's got to be like on the next one, I think.
Okay, so that's not anything in the future. So yeah, I also heard that they signed another 10 people. So I assume we're probably going to see some
shit.
See some, more people bumped up from NXT. I assume you got to be looking at a firing season. There's enough people who aren't really doing anything that are in the social outcasts that I think it's... I like them, but I think it's going to be WWE. I think Slater has pretty much ran his course in WWE. I really like him. I think a lot of fans like him. But, I mean, for the shit they give somebody like Zack Ryder, Heath Slater is, 10 times that.
Mm-hmm.
He can't really cut a promo. Like, he can, but it's, like, negative.
Right.
But at the same time, you also have a bunch of guys who I think are, even less than social outcast level. Like, I think literally they just don't want to give up Jack Swagger for somebody to have him.
Right.
Because on the down low, Jack Swagger is a fucking beast. Like, if you think TNA wouldn't pick up Jack Swagger and make him a star, you're insane. Like, the only thing holding Jack Swagger back is, like, credibility.
Yeah.
Like, if they let him go in there and, like, have a hellacious match with a Bobby Lashley, or if Lucha would want to pick him up and do something with him, like, they could make Jack Swagger into Kurt Angle.
Mm.
Like, maybe not that level, because Kurt was also a great mic worker and all that kind of stuff, but he would be on a lower tier between Kurt and Brock. Like, he is a legit beast. But I can't imagine they want to keep him around. Like, they're not doing anything with Swagger.
Mm.
Sandow's another one. I think they're literally just holding on to him because they don't want somebody else to use him.
Right.
I don't know what he said. Whose fucking oatmeal he must have farted into.
Yeah, because I just stopped using them.
Yeah. He's not really over, but at the same time, they don't want him to go anywhere. Adam Rose, I think, is literally being held in the company just based on that ESPN special they did about him and his sick kid.
Jeez.
So WWE doesn't want to seem like heartless monsters for firing him. Apparently, he wrote this thing after his newest suspension where he's claiming, it's the doctors at fault. He had a prescription for whatever he pissed hot for.
Oh, jeez.
So we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be the first time, at least I know of, that somebody's straight up confronted the wellness policy.
Right.
A lot of people are thinking it's weed, and wherever he's from, it must be like a legal prescription thing. And, as a national company, on the national level, weed's not legal. So that'd be kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm not a smoker at all.
Yeah.
But I was watching the Don Tony Kevin Castle show this week, and they brought up a really good point. Axel Rotten, Balls Mahoney, Chyna, all in their 40s, all dead recently, all suffer from pain, doing pain pills, doing sleeping pills. If weed was used instead, they'd be alive, period.
Yeah.
There's no argument. You know, if smoking weed helps somebody with their pain, it's insane for the WWE to be like, no, you should just be on a shit ton of painkillers instead. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand them not being able to come out and be like, oh, we support weed and stuff, but
Yeah, like
just take it off the piss test and don't say anything about it. You know, just
or even if it's just like have like if it's in that particular case,
yeah.
let the company know. If it's
Well, I mean,
something that
just take it off the piss test. And if like somebody is obviously showing up and they reek of weed and you
Yeah.
know it's compromising them and making them a danger to work with,
yeah,
then you fire them.
yeah, absolutely.
But if they're after a show and their back is hurting, and if smoking weed will stop them from taking a handful of sleeping pills and a couple pain pills, and fucking ODing and dying, I would think smoking
Yeah.
one joint is easily worth it. I think that's just
Yeah.
insane. Just be
I
like,
fully agree.
so I think it's just one of those things. I think WWE just needs to be like, you know what, we're just going to voluntarily take it off. There's other things to look for. Looking for uppers, look for downers, look for illegal pain stuff, look for steroids, human growth hormone, the kind of shit that killed a lot of wrestlers. I think they should go more into it. I think you need to go in and you need to do x-rays, chest x-rays, look at the size of the heart, because that's what'll kill guys. You know? Because I'm going to be straight up honest. I don't really trust their wellness.
No.
I think there's certain guys, and I'm not like, oh, that Ryback guy, or... No. I think we all know which guys I'm talking about when I say when they come back and all of a sudden they're, ripped to shreds and they only work one day a year kind of thing. A little bit of, like, let's be fair. Some of these guys are bigger now than they were in their prime. Sorry. And, it's, whatever, I guess. But let's be fair. You can kind of look at somebody and tell if they're on something.
Yeah.
And then some of the ones that people have been busted for, like, I don't know. I just find it funny when they're like, Ricardo Rodriguez was busted for performance enhancing stuff, and it was just like weight loss shit. Yeah, he was just trying to lose weight. Like, he wasn't, there's a difference between, like, cycling on something and abusing something. Like, oh, I'm going to cycle on this. I mean, maybe it's not the best thing in the world. You don't want
Yeah.
like, oh, you should cycle on something, put on 30 pounds of muscle and whatever. And that's not what we're talking about. You cycle on, you drop the weight, and you slowly cycle off. And hopefully you can keep it off. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Which is also, it's shady, but it's not. We're not the Olympics here. I don't know if you realize this, but it's scripted. Like, just let's be fair. Like, some of these guys, like, especially when you want to compare them to somebody.
Yeah, I was about to say I can't
from the Royd era.
Let's say I can see Ricardo Rodriguez becoming a fucking Roidy Magoo.
Yeah, and there's definitely some guys. Like, I think Big Cass, he's in great shape and stuff, but he would look downright small in the Roidy era. He'd be that era's Baron Corbin. But, all right, so I'm pretty sure last week I talked about the suspension, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I was talking, and I said I was going to make Victor great again. So,
What do we got for us this week?
if anybody's a longtime fan, and Merlin will shut up back there so you can hear it. There was a segment that never got an answer, and I think it could be a fun little thing to kind of bring it back. A little nod, a little fun thing. It was called GTV.
Mm-hmm.
It was like backstage little vignettes, and somebody was spying on them. How about VTV with Victor? And he's just kind of like a sleazy, selling secrets and stuff. Just kind of like a sleazy jerk. He's also a wrestler. But he's super into winning. So he's, trying to look into people's weaknesses. He's always studying tape and stuff. I think that's a solid little
That'd be
gimmick.
pretty cool. He could have like a thing where he's like in like a red room.
Yeah.
Going over like photos and stuff.
He's always looking for the weak, like the win.
Little chink.
Anytime he wins, he's got to have them raise his hand, and almost like the Bo Dallas kind of thing, just like super happy to win. I think it's just a nice little easy gimmick to give him if you want to give him a gimmick item, because I love gimmick items and WWE doesn't use them enough. A nice old school camera. And
flash bulb. You can even use like the flash bulb that could sell being blinded.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it for fun. You can go as creepy as you want, whether he's stalking a diva or keep it more like standard, where he's just walking out to ringside to scout, whoever he's looking at. They're checking out him, the referees with the other guy. He flash bulbs and they're selling.
Yeah, have him come out like during random matches. Have him come out from under the apron.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I think that's a cool little gimmick to give him. Something different, something we haven't seen. Great gimmick weapon. A boy Victor.
Having him randomly letting go through trash.
Yeah, whatever you can go any way you want with him. Whether it's just purely as a scout and he'll sell information to other guys. Because I always love that, like the interwoven things. Because along with managers, you need to have the guys in the back that can do stuff for other guys. So, Shamo wants to have a match with Kofi. He's like, what kind of dirt can you dig me up on Kofi? And he's almost like a dirty detective / coming out there taking pictures, possibly interfering. That kind of stuff. You could either go, neutral to, evil, creepy. Like I said, you could be stalking a diva, do whatever the hell you want with it. Just have fun. I'm Dave.
I'm Super Judge Funk.
And we're making wrestling great again, bitches. Get on the train.
Catch you guys next time.
Later.